palace.
Don't you run from me!
Yeah, she's not exactly regal.
Well, it's only been 2 months since she was crowned. But it seems like she'd rather run an orphanage than a kingdom.
Have you heard the new name the people came up with for her?
Hey, no snacks.
They call her the cattle farmer.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Sansan, Best Anime Reaction. In the previous episode, preparations were underway, and the mood felt serious and heavy. Everyone seems to understand that what comes next could decide humanity's future. In this episode, I expect the operation to finally begin, bringing intense action back to the forefront. The danger outside the walls is still very real, and the cost of failure is enormous. I'm also anticipating strong teamwork moments, especially from veterans like Levi and Erwin. This feels like the calm ending and the chaos beginning. Let's jump into episode 11 and witness the battle unfold.
Goddess. I think it's a term of endearment.
Not the first time she's been called a goddess. You know, if this keeps up, no one's gonna remember the chump who plugged up the wall in Trost.
This is part of why Astoria agreed to become queen in the first place. So she could do all this.
Do what?
She went from the underground to the edge of the walls and saved all the orphans and needy she could find. She even got the captain into it, since he grew up underground. When she sees someone crying and saying that no one needs them, she has to prove them wrong. She told me that she needs them to be okay.
Slacking off again, huh? It's getting dark, you know.
Power changed her. She reminds me of my mother now.
Gods can be cruel.
So you're practicing hardening. I hear it's going well.
It is, but we need to hurry before they come back.
What would you do if you found Reina and Bertolt and had to face them again?
I guess I'd have to kill them. No choice.
I hope we find out soon about this world and how it became like this. After all that we've done, I don't want to end up with any regrets. Even the kids from the underground have been smiling lately. I refuse to think this was the wrong choice.
Yeah, you're doing good things here.
I wasn't...
Which is funny considering how you said that humanity should get wiped out.
Oh, come on, I got carried away!
Alright, grab a snack, sit back, and imagine we're hanging out while rewatching one of the most quietly devastating episodes of Attack on Titan. What you're about to hear is a long-form recap and analysis of Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 11. Also known as Episode 48 overall, and yes, this is the episode that doesn't explode cities or throw titans at your face every 5 seconds, but instead calmly walks up to you, taps your shoulder, and emotionally wrecks you with life lessons. Let's talk about Bystander. We open this episode not with roaring titans or dramatic music, but with something almost suspiciously calm. The story gently pulls us away from Eren, Levi, and the chaos of the present, and drags us back in time. And the man holding the lantern for this journey into the past is none other than Keith Shadis, former commander of the Scout Regiment, professional grump, and current king of tough love. If you ever wondered why this man always looks like he's 5 seconds away from yelling at a cloud, this episode is your answer. The episode starts by framing Keith as a man who once believed he was special. Not main character of the anime, special, but the more dangerous kind. I am destined for greatness, special. Young Keith joins the scouts with stars in his eyes, convinced that he is different from the rest, that he has what it takes to change the world. This is Attack on Titan reminding us that arrogance doesn't always come from cruelty. Sometimes it comes from hope mixed with ego. Keith wasn't a bad guy. He was just very, very sure that the universe had big plans for him. Then comes the moment that quietly changes his life. Meeting Grisha Jaeger outside the walls. Yes, that Grisha. Eren's dad, the walking plot device with a medical license. Keith finds Grisha wandering around like a confused NPC who spawned in the wrong zone, and from the very beginning, Grisha gives off the...
What is it?
Give me those.
Hey!
You need to rest between experiments.
That's true. Sorry, Mikasa.
Hey, stop treating me like a feeble old man, will ya?
As part of the coup d'etat, the military had to purge people of considerable talent from its ranks. But discoveries such as the glowing ore in the underground cavern counteracted these losses. Also, thanks to Aaron's hardening ability, a powerful new anti-Titan weapon was invented.
That's it. Jam your big head in here. Do it now!
Ooh, that hit right at the nape of its neck. This could be it. We did it! That's a 12-meter we crossed! Hell yeah! With this baby, we can kill Titans without putting any soldiers at risk! We'll hack down those bastards all day and night! Say hello to the executioner from hell! We did it, Aaron! Aaron?
Looks like he must have overused his Titan abilities. He's been doing hardening experiments for days.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, there's nothing to apologize for. We can't slow down just because we're tired, right? I'm fine. Let's just make these weapons quickly, and then go to Shiganshina.
That's great! We can win! With weapons like that, killing Titans will be easy as breathing!
You're so damn excitable. You should know better than to be this pumped about joining the Scouts.
That reminds me. Didn't Hitch try to convince you to stay an MP?
Wait, Hitch? How come?
Because she's a thirsty girl, and she thinks you're a tall glass of water.
Can't say I follow. But Hitch did tell me off before, saying I wasn't cut out to be a real soldier. She told me I should stop acting cool and just coast along in life. I had thought she was better than that. So I told her I was wrong about her.
Asshole.
Are you that dumb, Marlo?
No brain under that bowl cut.
Calm down, he didn't say anything wrong.
Well, anyway, the only people as excited as you are these new recruits with no real battle experience.
Give me a break. You think you're some kind of hardened veteran now?
I know I am, compared to you at least.
That's rude. We were in the 104th, same as you. And besides, we're not the only ones excited. Everyone in the walls is. We're taking Walmaria back. We're finally winning.
You think so?
Well, you guys do seem a little different now. There's something about your faces. What exactly happened?
Want to know?
No.
Energy of a man who knows too much and says too little. He claims to be a doctor, doesn't know basic information about the walls, and somehow seems both terrified and determined at the same time. Keith, being Keith, assumes this mysterious man must be someone important. Maybe even more important than himself. And this is where the seed of insecurity is planted. Grisha doesn't act like a normal person from inside the walls, and Keith subconsciously starts projecting meaning onto him. If Grisha is special, then what does that make Keith? Just another soldier? As time goes on, Keith introduces Grisha to Carla, and from the moment Carla enters the story, everything changes. Carla is warm, loud, kind, and aggressively normal in the best way possible. She doesn't dream of glory or legacy or changing the world. She just wants to live a happy life inside the walls, raise a family, and survive. And strangely enough, this makes her one of the strongest characters in the entire series. Grisha falls in love with Carla, and Keith realizes, slowly and painfully, that Carla never looked at him the way she looks at Grisha. This isn't a dramatic love triangle full of shouting and jealousy. It's worse. It's quiet. Keith understands that Carla chose Grisha not because Grisha was a hero, but because Grisha was sincere. He listened. He cared. He didn't need to be special in Carla's eyes. He just needed to be present. This realization eats away at Keith. He starts questioning everything. His role in the Scouts, his belief that he's destined for greatness, and whether being special even matters. Meanwhile, Grisha keeps moving forward, studying medicine, helping people, and eventually starting a family. And Keith watches all of this from the sidelines, slowly slipping into the role that the episode's title so cruelly highlights, a bystander. One of the most important moments in this episode.
I'll ask some other time.
I'm out. See you later.
Huh? Now?
Tomorrow's supposed to be a prep day, so I'm planning to head to my village in the morning. There's a chance I might find something new there. Good night.
Think we could turn Connie's mom back to normal someday? I mean, it's not impossible, is it?
Well, if our knowledge about Titans continues to improve, then yeah, maybe.
You're telling us that Titans are people?
It's just a theory, but it's possible.
Oh, about 60 years. Hell on Earth. Every day was like waking up into a nightmare.
Like a nightmare. So much has happened that I haven't had time to question it. But who do you guys think that it is we're fighting against? The thing is, I've always hated the Titans. But what if they're just people being tormented by some nightmare? For a time at least, I was one of them myself.
Aaron! You still have bread and soup left. You shouldn't be talking until you've finished your meal.
Got it. You're right. Sorry.
Get it together, Aaron. Enough with the sad mumbling already. It's all you do these days. You know what you should be focusing on? That guy you saw. From the memories you were given, when Rice and Historia touched you. You said you saw a scout that must have known your dad, right?
Yeah, I think he might have been with my dad when the wall fell. If he's alive, he'll know something. He seems so familiar. I can't shake the feeling that I've met him somewhere.
Do you mean he seemed familiar to you? Or just your dad?
Me, I think.
It might help to smack yourself in the head.
Yeah, you should try that out. You know what else might be helpful? If instead of holding hands with Historia, you got a headbutt from the Commandant.
If that'd help me remember, I'd... Hey, wait. That's who I saw with my dad. It's Commandant Shottis!
Shottis was the 12th commander of the Scout Regiment, and Commander Ervin's predecessor. It's been a long while since I've seen him.
Commandant Shottis!
What's the matter, bro?
Is Keith's conversation with Carla about Eren. Carla confesses that Eren isn't particularly talented or gifted, and she's okay with that. She says something that hits like a philosophical truck. A child doesn't need to be special. Being born into this world is special enough. This line completely dismantles Keith's worldview. His entire life has been built on the idea that worth comes from standing out. Carla believes worth comes from simply existing. And here's where Attack on Titan quietly flexes its writing muscles. This episode isn't really about Titans. It's about people who aren't chosen ones. It's about the majority of humanity who don't inherit godlike powers or rewrite history. Keith realizes that he is not the hero of the story. He never was. And instead of rejecting that truth, he eventually learns to accept it. We then see Keith as commander of the Scouts, a position he never truly felt worthy of. He leads soldiers to their deaths, not because he's cruel, but because he believes sacrifice is necessary for progress. However, unlike Erwin, Keith doesn't have the charism or conviction to carry that burden. Every loss chips away at him. Eventually, he steps down, fully convinced that he failed because he wasn't special enough. Fast forward to the present timeline, and we return to the Keith we know, harsh, strict, seemingly heartless. But now we understand that his cruelty during training wasn't pointless. When he singled out Eren and labeled him as special, it wasn't praise. It was a test. Keith was trying to see if Eren could bear the weight of being exceptional. And when Eren failed physically, Keith crushed him emotionally, believing that someone who couldn't live up to that title would be better off abandoning it entirely. This makes Keith one of the most misunderstood characters in the series. He isn't trying to break people for fun. He's trying to protect them from the crushing
Mouse, not gonna sit?
No! I'm quite fine standing here, sir!
Let's see. If I recall, back in the day I'd call you in here a lot when I was about to chew you out. It's only been a handful of months, and yet I barely recognize you kids.
So, Commander Chavez. Or wait, Commandant now. We should be prepping to recapture Walmaria, but tell me, why do you suppose we came to speak with you instead?
Eren, you look like your mother in almost every way. However, the daggers I see within your eyes, those are your father's.
Tell me about him. Tell me everything you know.
I don't know much at all, not in the grand scheme of things. That said, I'll tell you a story that's of no value whatsoever to humanity. The story of my past, as nothing but a bystander. 20 years ago, near Walmaria, I found him standing outside of the gate to Shiganshina. Hey, what are you doing? How the hell did you get here? Did you climb down the wall somehow?
Wait, why would any of you venture outside the walls? Don't tell me you're trying to fight those things.
Huh? Was it the truth or a lie? He said he couldn't remember why he was outside the walls. All of his memories have been lost. Everything aside from his name, Grisha Yeager.
Who knew it was a crime to go into Titan territory without permission? I bet he's the first guy who's tried it. I mean, I always thought that only you scouts were dumb enough to go out there.
Something tells me there's also a law that jails idiots who drink on duty. Eh, Hannes?
Anyway, it's not like he actually hurt anybody. So let's just keep it to ourselves, yeah?
Yeah. So, Grisha, do you have any idea where you'll go from here? Maybe I can help.
There is one thing I remember aside from my name. I was a doctor. Introduced me to a hospital. I should be able to help there.
Huh.
Also, do you think you could teach me? About this world, I mean. And about the scouts, too. About everything inside the walls.
He truly appeared to know nothing at all. Not about this world. Not about anything.
I see. Although there's inequality, life in the walls is largely peaceful. And if nothing else, you aren't living in constant fear of the Titans. That's good.
You think so, do you? That means you're just like the rest.
Huh?
We're trapped inside
expectations that destroyed him. He wants most soldiers to survive as ordinary people, not die chasing a fantasy of greatness. The episode closes with a quiet but powerful act of redemption. Keith helps the current generation of cadets by misleading military police so they can escape. He takes a beating for it and smiles through the pain. For the first time, Keith acts not as a leader or a hero, but as someone who chooses to help from the shadows. He fully embraces being a bystander and finds peace in it. What makes this episode so impactful is how it reframes the entire series. Up until now, Attack on Titan has trained us to obsess over bloodlines, powers, and destiny. This episode gently whispers that most of the world is built by people who never get statues or songs written about them. People like Carla, people like Keith, people who choose kindness, perseverance, and quiet support over glory. For YouTube viewers, this episode is a goldmine. It's relatable, it's human, it asks uncomfortable questions about ambition and self-worth. Not everyone watching this anime will be an Eren or an Erwin. Most of us are Keiths. We try, we fail, we support others, And maybe that's enough. Season 3 Episode 11 doesn't scream its importance. It doesn't punch you in the face with action. Instead, it sits next to you and says, hey, it's okay if you're not special. You still matter. And in a world as brutal as Attack on Titan, that might be the most radical idea of all. And that's why Bystander isn't just a flashback episode. It's a mirror. There is one small detail in this episode that might slip past you if you're not paying attention, but once you notice it, it completely changes how you look at Keith Shadis as a character. It's not a big speech, not a dramatic sacrifice, not even a flashback with sad music. It's his attitude during the training arc. The way
these walls. But as long as there's plenty of food and alcohol to go around, most people are just fine with that. In their whole lives, they'll never question how wide the world might be.
Is that why you risk your life to venture outside the walls? To see how wide the world is?
That's right. Does it seem foolish?
No, quite the opposite. The Scouts are wiser and braver than anyone else living within the walls. Their very existence is living proof that the imagination and soul of mankind are still free.
That's what you think? Seriously?
Yes.
What's this, Keith?
Huh?
You better not be recruiting for the Scouts again.
No, not this time, Carla. I was just...
Oh, no. I'm not really suited for that kind of work. It takes someone special to become a scout. You have to be a chosen one.
That's one way to put it.
I was a chosen one. That was the first time anyone had told me that. But I knew that those walls were far too cramped for me.
So this expedition failed as well. When will you finish the base outside the wall?
If only I was commander, I could show results. As idiotic as these people are, I'd accomplish so much that even they'd understand. And then everyone would have to acknowledge me. Grisha! Carla caught the plague that's going around. They say there's no cure, but...
Put her in the rear bed.
Please, Dr. Yeager. My mom and dad, they've gotten sick too.
Not to worry. I'll help everyone.
Doctor, it's a miracle! My wife is well again!
Dr. Yeager, thank you so much!
Way to go! You'll do great! You're hereby appointed commander of the Scout Regiment.
Congratulations!
Congratulations, Dr. Yeager!
Shit! Our base! It's no use! We need to retreat! Commander!
The moron keeps leading his men straight into death, yet he's the only one who always lives.
That's not quite true. I hear no one on Ervin's squad has died yet.
Then maybe he should be commander.
Someone special. A chosen one.
Keith?
Treats the cadets, especially Eren, and more importantly, why he does it. On the surface, Keith looks like the worst instructor imaginable. He yells, humiliates, insults, and seems to take a strange pleasure in crushing young recruits' spirits. If this were any other anime, he'd be the classic, abusive mentor, trope, the guy you're supposed to hate until he suddenly redeems himself with a heroic death. But Attack on Titan refuses to be that simple. Keith isn't cruel because he enjoys it. He's cruel because he's afraid. When Keith looks at Eren, he doesn't just see a reckless kid with big dreams. He sees himself, a younger version of himself, standing at the edge of the world, convinced that destiny is calling his name. And Keith knows exactly where that mindset leads, because he has already walked that road and watched it collapse beneath his feet. So when Keith loudly declares Eren special, in front of everyone, it isn't encouragement. It's a deliberate burden. He wants to see if Eren can carry the weight of expectation without breaking. And when Eren fails the vertical maneuver test, Keith doesn't step in to comfort him. Instead, he pushes harder. Not because he wants Eren to suffer, but because he believes suffering now might save him later. This is one of the most unsettling ideas the episode presents. That sometimes, kindness wears the mask of cruelty. Keith believes that if he can strip away Eren's belief in being chosen, then Eren might survive as an ordinary soldier instead of dying as a disappointed dreamer. It's twisted, it's flawed, and it's deeply human. What makes this even more painful is that Keith is acting on the lesson Carla taught him, but in the wrong way. Carla believed that being born into the world was enough. Keith agrees with that sentiment, but he doesn't know how to express it with warmth. He only knows how to express it with force. He doesn't know how to say, you don't need to be special.
Carla, who's the kid?
Eren, our baby boy. I guess the news never made it your way. My husband worries about you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are you planning to keep this up until you get yourself killed? I think it's time.
Do you want to know why most people live and die without accomplishing a single damn thing? It's because they've lost their imaginations. They'll complacently waste their entire lives, unashamed of the fact that all they'll ever add to the world is shit! Such people are little more than cattle. They can't even comprehend greatness. Not even when it's right in front of them. So a girl who flirts with every man in sight, one who's good for absolutely nothing aside from keeping people's drinks full, could never... It's true. Normal people can't accomplish a thing. Hey, Erwin, I want you to take my command. Special people do exist. All this means is that I was never one of them. It's such an obvious fact. So why couldn't I see it?
Wall Maria has fallen! Shiganshina district was demolished! They're gonna come for Trost next!
Oh yeah, that's why. It's because of what you said.
Eren. Wake up, Eren. Why wasn't your mother with you?
I'm sorry. Mom was trapped, and a Titan came. He ate her.
Eren, you'll avenge her. You must. I know that you can. Let's go.
Hold on. Where are you going?
Please don't follow us.
Grisha! Why not avenge Carla yourself? I know you could do it. All this time, you were the one who was special. I know that I never was. But what if that boy is the same as me? What if he isn't a chosen one either? Is Eren next? Will you curse him too now?
This child isn't like you, Keith. Eren is my son. Please don't get involved. This is a family affair.
Special. So instead, he says, you are not special, and hopes the meaning somehow survives the delivery. And here's the cruel irony. Keith fails again. Not because his logic is entirely wrong, but because Eren is Spec. IAL in ways Keith couldn't predict. Eren's drive doesn't come from wanting to be important. It comes from rage, from loss, from a refusal to accept the world as it is. Keith tries to protect Eren from the curse of greatness, but greatness crashes into Eren anyway, whether Keith likes it or not. This realization must be devastating for Keith. It confirms his deepest fear. He was never meant to shape the future. He can only react to it. He can only stand nearby while history chooses someone else. And yet, this is where the episode makes its final, quiet statement. Being a bystander does not mean being useless. Keith doesn't change the world with grand gestures. He doesn't lead humanity forward. But he helps. He steps aside when it matters. He takes hits meant for others. He misleads the authorities. He absorbs pain so that younger people can move forward. He finally understands that significance isn't measured by how loudly your name echoes through history, but by how many people get to keep walking because you were there. In a series obsessed with legacy, bloodlines, and inherited power, this is almost a rebellious message. Not everyone is meant to be remembered. Not everyone is meant to be special. And that's not a tragedy. Keith Shadis doesn't end this episode as a hero. He ends it as something far rarer in fiction. A man who accepts his limits, forgives himself for them, and keeps going anyway. And maybe that's the quiet lesson hiding in the background of Season 3 Episode 11. Titans may decide the fate of humanity, but it's people like Keith, tired, imperfect, and standing just off to the side, who make sure there's still a future worth saving.
That light. After I found you, I carried your unconscious body back to the shelter and left. And that is everything I know.
So that's it. I see.
At least now I know the real reason you chose to resign. Not to atone for all the soldiers you got killed, but because you realized that you're not a special snowflake, just a delusional self-centered child.
Lay off him, Hanji.
You had no right to keep all of this to yourself, just to spare your own ego. We pledged to give our lives and our hearts for the good of mankind!
Please let it go, Commander. The Commandant was right. Just like him, I was never special. Looks like I was just the son of a man who was. That's all there is to it.
After I yelled at her, this is what your mother said back.
Why should anyone have to be special? That just isn't the way I like to look at things. And when it comes to my child, I don't care if he grows up to be great. My son doesn't have to be better than anyone. After all, just look at him. He's so cute. I think Aaron's special enough already. For no other reason than that he was born into this world.
And you, just like your father wanted, chose to set your life ablaze and let it burn to ashes outside the walls. I tried, but in the end, it all came to nothing. I couldn't change a thing. I'm merely a bystander.
The night before leaving for Shikanshina, their sights set on the world beyond the walls. With hope and fear in their hearts, they pray for humanity's future. Next episode, night of the battle to retake the wall.
Thank you so much for watching this video on General Sansan Anime. I really appreciate you spending your time here and sharing this anime journey with me. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support truly means a lot and helps the channel grow stronger every day. I'll be back very soon with more exciting reactions, emotional moments, and unforgettable anime scenes for all of us to experience together. Until next time, take care, keep enjoying anime, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.